The brand new Mixed Fusion event has just come, and the real question here isn't, is he good? The question is he worth going for? We have Titus Blackplume right here. He is a Void legendary Mixed Fusion. Mixed Fusion basically means that you gotta get the fragments for the epics, and you put the epics into fusing the legendary. As you can see right here, if we go over to champion training, you get a quarter of an epic. Now, that's the main way to get them, obviously. And this guy is pretty damn interesting, I will say. And it's always kind of nice to see a Void rarity fusion. But of course, fusions take a lot of resources, take a lot of time, and if the champion is not worth it, it isn't. So let's go over the kit, and I'll go over whether or not I think you guys should fuse for him, and we'll see what happens. If you want to get one of the best starts in Raid Shadow Legends, use the link in my description below to get a free legendary champion, Narma the Returned, as well as 3 amazing epic champions as you level up. Now, the way that you're going to do this is you're going to log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Then you're going to click the link in the description, register with a brand new email. Then you're going to launch Raid, complete the tutorial, and as you go to your inbox, you are going to be able to claim your first legendary champion. Next, you're going to get Anax, Uugo, and Mausoleum Mage as you level up. Please don't let this insane offer pass you by, and click on my link now to get the start that you deserve. So starting off, Titus Blackplume is a legendary defense-based champion from the Banner Lords faction. Now, Banner Lords is a pretty damn good faction, and obviously him being Void is pretty cool. First of all, stat-wise, he's 97 speed, pretty okay stat. It's nothing like groundbreaking, but it's pretty solid. And kit-wise, his A1 starts off with attack an enemy, has a 40% chance of placing block active skills for 2 turns. It goes up to 60% when you book him. This effect cannot be resisted if this champ is under a shield buff. Whenever an ally counterattacks, teams up with allies to attack, or instantly activates a skill, also has a 40% chance to place a block active skills for 2 turns on the target enemy. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will act. This is honestly pretty solid. Block active skills is a decent ability, and while it is a single target, this is only an A1, and the fact that it worked with team ups, counterattacks, all that stuff is pretty cool. Going on to the A2, we have attack an enemy. This attack is always critical if this champion is under a shield buff. This attack also gains a damage boost equal to the value of the shield. Removes all debuffs from all allies if the target is killed, which will rarely happen most likely. If the target survives, place a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn instead. This effect cannot be resisted as this champion is under a shield. This immediately reads, first of all, as infinite scaling, which if you guys remember, if you were playing for a while, stuff like Corpulent Cadaver could build up a shield. You would use like a Brogni or someone to expand the shield over and over again. And eventually the unit would start hitting for millions of damage because the shield growing. This is how it reads. And if it doesn't kill, it's also an AoE provoke, which is really good for Hydra. 3-turn cooldown. Honestly, doesn't really need to read that much, which is absolutely a bonus. It's a good ability. And then we get to the A3. Now the A3 is 3-turn cooldown, places an ally protection buff, increased attack buff, and increased speed buff on a single ally, which is not great, but you know, it is what it does. But it also fills the ally's turn meter by 40%, instantly activates a skill at the end of an ally's turn if the ally has no buffs and their HP is lower than 100%, which is kind of interesting. So it's actually kind of incentivizing no buffs or units that take extra turns and then get rid of their buffs. Something like a Tholen might actually get a lot of value out of a unit like Titus on the team, which is pretty cool. And then we get to the passive. Each time an enemy hits an ally, the ally's next attack will deal 10% more damage for each hit they take. Stacks up to 100%. The damage increase resets after that ally deals damage. And then we get the very weird increase Void ally HP in all battles by 40%. And you might notice that he's a defense-based champion that deals damage based on defense. So I don't know why exactly he has this. It seems kind of weird to me. But yeah, let's just quickly go over some qualms I have with him, some potential I see. Number 1 is this ability. People have tested him. Hits like a truck. This does scale very well. But something we do have to mention is Clarium does have a tendency to nerf abilities, like if we remember Wixwell, if we remember Corpulent Cadaver, you know, all of those things that kind of break Clan Boss wide open or make things a lot easier do tend to get nerfed. So it's very likely you invest a lot of, well, maybe not very likely, but it's definitely a possibility that you spend all of your time and resources going for him, you get him, and then a month later he gets nerfed and then he becomes worse. So if you're going to go for him, I wouldn't go for him just for this ability unless you desperately want it. Also, the save 3 is only on a single ally and it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. It's interesting, I guess. Also the A2, once again, this attack is always critical if the champ's under a shield, but the A1, it's not always critical. So you do still have to build him with crit rate, but you don't want to build him with crit rate. It's very confusing. Also, there's a lot of things here. He doesn't apply his own shield. So if you're gonna go for him, you have to have a shielder. Personally, I don't have a shielder on my account right now. If I get one in the future, I will look into it a little bit more, but I don't really have a good shielder, so I can't really get his full potential, right? These are all kind of issues with Titus. Now, is Titus a must feud? Absolutely not. He's not really worth that. But what you might need to consider if you want to go for him is, do you need a champion that has an AoE provoke that scales his damage pretty well, although it might get nerfed, and essentially just does some support along the side? He's kind of all over the place. He's not a bad champion by any means, but it's like, it really will just depend if you need the survivability and the increased damage. This passive is really good. I will say this is pretty solid. His kit is decent. It's just like going past, like, we just got Fabian like a couple months ago, and then we get to this. It's like, it's very hard for me to say that you should go for him or that you shouldn't go for him. It's gonna just depend. Do you need more defense-based champions? Do you need DPS? Do you need champions that scale? Do you need champions that provoke? Do you need champions that have a little bit of buffing, barely any buffing? Then you can go for Titus. And I think what I could say to why are we getting these packs? Why is this actually not the worst pack I've ever seen? No, I'm moving on. Anyways, the easiest way I could probably put this into perspective is, am I going for Titus? And I think the answer is yes, but barely. The thing is, I don't have any ally protectors. I don't have any increased speed units until I get High Katun on day 30. I don't have any provokers or really, you know, scaling damage type of abilities. I don't really have a lot of passive stuff, but even then I wouldn't go for him. All right. The reason why I'm thinking I'll go for him is because I am a content creator. I have more time to put into these games because I don't have a real job, and I can stream this, right, for fun. For the average player, I'm going to say that you shouldn't invest into getting Titus unless he specifically fulfills a role that you need. And for most of you watching, I think it's a waste of time. That's my opinion. Obviously, you're free to disagree with me in the comments. He's solid. He's not bad, but to me, he's more of a pool diluter, because for a Void legendary, he does not stack up to freaking Terrace, Marichka, Baron. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's so different in quality compared to most of Void legendaries that I think it's just a pool diluter type of fusion. So I would say for the next one, it's also a Void, which allows them to have more leeway to increase the reward requirements to even fuse them. So it might be harder. Either way, if you're not ready for it and you don't really need them too much, I would skip. But that's just me. Thank you guys for watching. That's kind of everything I wanted to talk about. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. And that's it for me. Destin signing up.